Brother Bolga Deng is the first Sudanese that I met on this issue and struggle. I was speaking down in Virginia, and I met him, and I listened to his story, and it was the most compelling story I had ever heard. And I've been engaged in Africa in many issues. In fact, I'm on my way to give a presentation at for the birthday celebration of Thabo Mbeki in Johannesburg. And one of the things that I have always said is that we need people from the continent, from the homeland itself, just like Dr. Adam and like Bolga Deng. These people, they know what the issues are. Yeah. They're on the ground. These are not made up issues. This is not This is not reality TV in a fictional way. Right. This is actual real stuff. And people are dying seriously. Dr. Adam spoke about Darfur. Darfur is not a small place. It's bigger than the country of France. You take the whole country of France. Darfur is bigger than that, you see. And South Sudan, which was an area that fought for decades against the Khartoum government, finally got its independence. It broke off from Sudan. And South Sudan is a republic of South Sudan now, with the capital. I think it's still at Juba is the capital, but they hope to move that. But that's where South Sudan. In fact, we have a flag. This is a South Sudanese flag here. And those of you who know it knew that this was South Sudan. That's South Sudan because it's an independent part of Sudan. And we hope one day they call themselves Kush. But it's a very important piece of our history and culture. So we're going to ask Bolga Deng if he would come forward and just say something. This brother works with the Sudanese Community Organization.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Malabachanti, and I thank you all. Most of you here come tonight. Yes. I'm so grateful and delighted to be here. And I always, I think that I was the only blessed person to meet Malabachanti in the first place when in 2008, when he came to speak to my school that I went to, Virginia Commonwealth University called BCU, and it was invited by the African American Department. The chairman, actually, Dr. Sean Yutzi, a great friend of mine, that invited him to come to speak to the school. And I was running around doing my homework, and I learned about him, and I said, you know what, I want to show up. So when I got there, very much Malafi Shanti spoke strongly, that actually, and he was not pleasing anybody. He just telling exactly the way it was and what he was saying. And he said that actually, I'm a Sudanese. And I was the only Sudanese young man among the students. I was like, he may be kidding me.
That's my DNA.
Yeah, actually. And he was there, and I did not realize that also she was, his wife, Anna, was sitting down as well watching, and actually, I did not know they were together. Right. And he was talking highly about Sudan. So my question was, how can someone talk highly about Sudan when there's so much genocide? The pictures of the kid of Sudan that are so terrible in the TV of CNN and the news media. And being a young kid and you come to America, you feel comfortable. You don't want to be a part of that community anymore. You want to isolate yourself, don't want to see that, because if you see that your mom and dad and in the TV, the hunger, how people, desperate for food, you feel like, what, I want to be better, or I don't want to be a part of this. I just want to get away from it. It's too long. Destroy my life, distract me not to achieve my goal. I want to forget. But my left Ashani stood up and said, I'm a Sudanese. He was not ashamed of that and DNA. You see? And that inspired me to be a part of something. I said, what, I want to be a part of this. Yes, so that is very important. And I just also want to thank you for being here tonight for this matter, just to listen to us. It means a lot to us as well. Your time here is very important. You may not know this, but I want to tell you that it's very important for all of us. And I want also to say hello, maybe to the first lady over there, Anna Shanti. She's sitting down there. She's the most humble woman I have never known so far. Very humble. And that is the attitude that we're born with as Africans. Yes. Always try to be humble. Try to serve. And actually, that is so important for this community that I came to know. And I just want to make sure that we are very grateful to know you in the first place in Philadelphia, and what you are doing here, what I've set up the Malafashanta Institute. I feel like it's going to change the life of our communities all over the world. And that is the dream that I see to this institute. And I know will move us forward and will liberate us from this oppression by anyone that target our race as African, as black, as continent that we live in. So very much, I'm so grateful again, and I want to say that yes, there's so many issues that have been addressed. Dr. Malafachan have said all what I was about to say. He said it all, and actually, it's very important what actually thing that he highlighted about what's going on in Sudan. Exactly what is going on in Sudan. Sudan, very much we have a racist war. We never had a civil war in Sudan. It's not a civil war. Anybody telling you there's a civil war in Sudan, his intention to kill us. His intention to deny the reality, what's going on in Sudan. And actually, any political in our society come from my side and call it a civil war is a traitor. Is not a true liberator.
That's right.
If you see any South Sudanese, black like me, calling it a civil war, have been used by the Arab to sing their language to deny the reality about what's going on in Sudan. But in the reality is that what's going on in Sudan is Arab against African. And what is so interesting to know is that the Arab immigrated to come and kill us in our backyard.
That's right.
We never went to Saudi Arabia. We never went to Mecca to invade them. They come to invade us in our land in Kush nation. And they want to take the Kush and they destroy every historical that we had. And what the Arab community does really well, and I want to tell you this, is when they come to your neighborhood, they come in as a friend, they come in as a business people, because when they're still looking for a way to get in and to get their foot in the ground, and that's what they have been. What they have done in Sudan, what they did was they come and destroy the historical site, which is supposed to actually Sudan have the more historical site than Egypt.
That's right.
Sudan was the oldest, and actually Egypt permeated the Wakafi from the Sudan to Egypt, because actually the civilization immigrated from the Sudan northward.
Okay.
It was not from Egypt southward, it was from actually Sudan northward. That would happen. And people thought that maybe the civilization started from northward to southward. No. They start from Sudan and then immigrate to Egypt. And the African that will exist back then, they were not African today. They were not the Arab today that live in Sudan in Egypt that called themselves Arabs and all this. They took it away from us. And if you go and read the book called The Destruction of Black Civilization,
That's right. Yes.
We know it.
it will tell you all of it.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
They will tell you all of it, that the struggle in Sudan between Egypt and Sudanese African like me been going on for more than 500 years.
Absolutely.
It never started in 1998. It never started in 1999. It never started in 1800. It started in 500 BC. And it's still going on.
That's right.
And the Destruction of Black Civilization by Counselor William tell you that actually the civilization, what happened actually in Sudan, the fight that happened and how they defeat us. How are the African brothers give up their manhood, give up their struggle. And some Africans stood fighting until today. That's why you see a South Sudan had a flag.
That's right.
That flag was not for free. It was for blood. We lost more than 5 million black died to defend this. And that was South Sudanese. And this is what I want to say. Without South Sudanese, the Africa would have been conquered by the Arab, all of
That's
it.
right. That's right. That's right.
The South Sudanese, they become a gate of Africa, East Africa. They will become a gate of South African brothers. And they stood all in the door, not to Paul. And they stood forward. And those South Sudanese fought the longest war in Africa. They fought, actually they started and they tried in so many peaceful ways to accommodate Arab. They tried to give Arab women their sisters. The Arab refused not to actually appreciate them what they have done. They tried to give up some rights and give them the land to call Arab name. They refused not to recognize us. And actually, the more they did that, they were actually oppressing our brothers in Darfur and Nuba Mountain and Blue Nile to become Arabized Africans. Until they realized the problem that it was not actually what South Sudan are fighting for, it was for Africa identity.
That's right.
We did fight to protect Africa identity.
That's right.
And we did fight to protect Africa continent.
That's right.
But our African brothers in South Africa and West Africa thought that it was a Sudanese struggle. It's not our problems.
That's right.
They thought it was a South Sudanese problem. And it's a Sudanese problem. But they didn't know that it was Africa problems.
That's right.
So the fall of Sudan and South Sudan was an Africa war against Arab war, against Muslim war and Islamic community. And the same Arab have a tactic of divide and conquer. They use it better than any other race in the world, even better than the white man, even better than the Chinese man. The most intelligent man and humanity in the world we're living in a criminology way, is an Arab man. The most racist, the most anti-black, the most anti-black culture and black light and black line in the world we're living in is Arab man. If you tell me as a white man, I'm kind of questioning your ability whether you understand the world we're living in or not. My sisters and brothers, I'm not pleasing you. I'm telling you the way it is. If you really want to work hard on this, travel and go with me to Middle East. You will not because as a human being. No one will know that you are a human being, you exist as a black man because your color is the issue. You see, I was talking to one lady here in Canada a few weeks ago. You know how excited we are, African American and black folk in America, that we got a black president. I think we were honored that we have Michelle Obama in White House. You know, well, the Arab don't see it the way we see it. When Obama actually did his work and actually went after Osama bin Laden and assassinated the man who actually was responsible of killing 3,000 Americans. And Obama, in his term, actually this happened and killed Osama bin Laden. One imam in Canada, actually his name was Khatib, Imam al-Khatib, when he learned that Obama actually made a decision to assassinate Osama bin Laden, he went on in front of a mosque, about 300 Muslims, and he said, the Abid and the slave is in the White House. The slave is in the White House and the slave is killed our brother Osama bin Laden. That slave man is actually in the White House. Who in the world can call a president of the United States a slave? But the Arab can do that. But the white man can question, do I need to call him a slave in this time around or not? Because they know that there is a black woman Congress lady there, and there's a black congressman there will question him, his ability whether, why would you call Obama a slave in a time like this? But Arab men call Obama a slave, and in front of everybody. In front of African Muslims were praying with them, and it was a war within the mosque. They declared the war was a war within the masjid they were praying in. To see that there's no one will honor us in this world if you go to Arab world or Islamic world. And the same brother, Obama, few weeks ago, have given Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood 16 jet to the Egypt Brotherhood government. The same brother who has given Egypt 200 tanks to the Egyptian. Do you know what the Egyptian can do with this tank? If you are a black man giving them to them, they can align the war to kill us in Sudan.
That's right.
Because the Egyptian agenda in Africa,
That's right.
they want to act like America in the world.
That's right.
And they want to make sure that they control the Nile,
That's right.
coming from Lake Victoria all the way down to Egypt.
That's right.
They want to know that the African countries from East Africa, from Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Uganda, they will not have a control in the Nile.
That's right.
And that's why they're asking support from Obama so they can declare World War III in Africa.
Wow.
We've been killed by our own brother.
Yeah.
That's right.
We elected him. We are proud of him. We have Michelle Obama.
That's right.
And guess what? The same water have been used to take the gun so he can kill us.
Yeah.
But they're telling him that, yeah, we have a war with Jewish state. We have a war with Israel. That's why we need tank and gun. But they don't tell you the reality that they're going to kill Africa. And the reality they're going to kill us. And I'm very worried about that.
Yes.
And I'm very concerned about it, that I'm so ashamed that my brother, who we voted for, was giving his hand to a man who's going to kill me tomorrow. And that is very sad.
Yes, it is.
And that's what Dr. Abdul Jabbar have said a few minutes ago, that if you have no information,
That's right.
what can you do? If you have no information, you don't know what to do. That's why we need to seek information. That's what Dr. Malaf Hussain have said, that for me being here, stand up here. I've never been in CNN. I've never been in Fox News. I've never been anywhere in the media in the United States. But I have a broken stories. But no one can question me, how did you get to America? They thought I came here by Mayflower. They thought I came here but I did not. I never come by Mayflower. You know, you need to question me. But that was not the deal. Because I then give them that what suit them. Because they want me to call them, oh, Arab are great. Arab are not great, they want to kill my mom and dad. And they're still killing my humanity. My people, 3 and 5 million black have died. If you don't want to know the truth and the reality,
That's right.
you don't want to be a side of the good side. You want to know the stories about what's going on in Africa, please leave me alone. Don't even bother me. You see, a few weeks ago, I was having a debate with this group called Act for Sudan, Save Darfur. Actually, they never save anybody. They kill everybody in Darfur. All these organizations have been set up in this area. But the agenda was to kill us. But look how intelligent these people are. They're collecting the fund from American public. They're collecting support from everybody. And they went to the Congress to get funds that can support them to build houses in America. They even, money does not even reach out in Africa. They already build houses here in Philadelphia. But they call it Act for Sudan. They call it Save for Darfur. They call it, Sudan Today, Sudan Advocates. All this, they're using money and manipulating the American government policies so they cannot see the reality. And the same folk who go and ask Bashir and government of Sudan to get funds to support them within the United States and say we're doing a right way to protect you to be in the leadership. So there's a game in D.C. right here. If you guys don't know it.
That's right.
There's so much game in D.C. and so much dirty game is going on in D.C. that you may think that the people who taking the sign to go with me to the United Nations, they are for me, but they are against me. But they have a sign for me to say they're going to save me, but they're not saving me. That's why the father of Sudan will never get any solution until today. Because there's nobody is so sincere and genuine to stand up against humanity, for the humanity. Most of the people that are in D.C. here, they're working for the money, they're manipulating. Even when they know I'm so sincere to defend the human right in my community, they gang up against me, they're fighting me back. They even don't want to talk to me. Because they see like I'm blocking their business not to flow. Because they don't want me to speak out and tell them to question their responsibility, their involvement, what the interest. Why are you here? Are you Sudanese? Why you don't want to listen to me, my stories? Because the way I tell it, that's what is going on in my community. Because I speak Denka. I think I speak Denka. When there's a gunship, like what Dr. Malaf Hussain said, there was a gunship today in my community, I got a phone call.
That's right.
They said the bombers.
That's right.
They kill a dude, they kill a book, they kill Deng, they kill a Deng. That is people that are related to.
Yeah.
So if you call them, what they can tell you? Then they didn't kill Muhammad or Shabazz.
That's right.
They killed Deng.
That's right.
And that's why you got to ask me what is going on. But you don't want to ask me, you think you know better more than I do.
Right.
You don't know better. I know it because I was born there. You see, I cannot come to Philadelphia today and tell them, you know what, I got this. I know better. No, I don't know better. I cannot. I never act like I was born in German Street here, German Avenue. I was not. I'm faking. So that's what we need to understand. If I was born in Africa Street, I know exactly what's going on down there. And I know I can take you there.
Right.
And I know I will bring you safe.
Right.
But what is going on here, people don't want to listen to us. They want to make their own story. They want to make them up. They want to tell American people lies and lies over and over. So I think, and to be honest with you, I'm very sincere and I love to be sincere a lot. I think Obama is very confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I think he may not even know what his identity is yet. He doesn't know he's an African. He claimed to use our identity, our color, to get him there. But it's not for us.
Right.
My brothers and sisters, I'm telling you this, and I'm not lying to you. If there's any way we are sincere enough, you see, it was a young man from my community. It was a slave, like me actually. But I'm better off because I didn't lose my sight, I see. So this young man was beat up by the Arab man, he lost both sides, he cannot see. And was brought here by the Christian International Solidarity, by one woman here, one lady in New York. So she actually made an appointment with Obama and said, Mr. Obama, I want you to meet this young man. This young man had been a slave. He lost his mother, he lost father, he lost everybody, and he's here by himself. I went to village and I brought him. I went to slavery, I brought him back after he paid an Arab master about $100. And he brought this young man back, and he was actually lost both sides. And he said, Mr. Obama, you can have interest to meet this young man. He said, why not? I'm going to meet him. So in a Christmas Eve, this lady took this young man to Obama and Michelle Obama. And then they met Obama. I have a picture, I think I have in my, I can show you later. So he took the picture of this young man. This young man didn't want a picture to take with the president. He wanted to tell the story about what's going on in the village. Yes. He wanted Obama to make at least publicity. He wanted to go to CNN to condemn this. He never condemned it. Never condemned it. He took a picture, he slapped the young man, went back. This young man now is in Boston here in Bilad school, when he can learn how to read and write. So, it will really need to be who we are as black folks. Let's tell ourselves the reality and the truth. And let's take the truth. Let's take them and let's try to see what we can do about them. But when we try to run away from the truth and reality, we are not going to solve the problem. We're going to create more problems because we refuse to listen to the reality. So, and that is the position. Actually, the Black Caucus that I met with them for so many times, I went to D.C. I'm actually I always engage with the Black Caucus. And I like the black woman Congress lady every time I met them. I think they're beautiful. Yeah. I'm telling you, because I think that what is going on, I think because my mom, I was raised by the woman, because my dad died when I was 3 months old. 3 months old, that when I didn't see my dad, by the way, because he was killed by the Arab man early. I was the youngest person. So I was raised by my mother. She was so beautiful. Never gone to school, never known anything, but she raised me to be a man. Right. Can stand up for my identity. So every time that I go to Black Congress and see these black women, people like, Karen Beth from Los Angeles, people like Barbara Lee, and many others, they're so beautiful. The black woman always so genuine, care, listen, never act like she got it. They're always humble. And Karen Beth, I think she's the greatest woman I never met. That's right. The first time I met her, she said, William, I love you. That's right. If there's anything I can do. That's right. That's right. And she called upon Malafa Shan to go to testify in the Congress. If there's any way we can push this. That's right. And that's why we need your congressman here to push for this so Malafa can testify in the Congress. And we need that. Because Karen Best now, she's the one, a lead of the Sudan caucus. That's right. And she's a black lady. That's right. And we need people like that, like your congressman here, to be a part of the board to push that. What we need is that why our president is giving F-16 to a criminal. Why cannot give it to good guys like me, who just want to protect the humanity? We want our sisters to go to school. We want our mother to go and form in the agricultural way that we Africa was born to do. So that's what we need. But we cannot. With this folk who can go to China and get internet in China, get internet in Russia. China are the most careless people in the humanity. They don't even care that the black people will exist in this world. And that's why I said, God, I thank you, you never took me to China. because I have nothing there. And I wouldn't go there. And I don't belong there. Let me be here because I will meet Malafa Shanti. That's what God has wanted me to be here. But I cannot go. Who can I meet in China? Nobody. Actually, the same Chinese now, what Dr. Malafa Shanti said is very true. The same Chinese, when they learn that the South Sudan become independent,
That's right.
they come in big numbers.
You got oil.
They come in big numbers, women and children, they're coming in.
Yes.
And they're coming to set up building and call it Shanghai. Come and set up the hotel and call it Beijing.
That's right.
And so many names that we cannot be called with the people of the land. We cannot be called that name, but they come and set it up and they say, you know what, we Chinese are here and we are not going anywhere. And they take away our resources, they're looting everything, they set up a big building that Desireen can just, in order to call Chinese men again to fix it. So everything is breaking down in South Sudan right now. Because the Chinese have took advantage of us. That they weren't actually employing our own citizens. We never worked before. And our people have been paid $1 in a month. In that land, they work for something. They fought for something that can never benefit from it. The Chinese are destroying our land and the fake environment. They're bringing in all this. And also the Arab, on the other hand, they're coming in. The Arab from Arab state, from Qatar, from Saudi Arabia, from Lebanon, they're coming in to set up a big hotel to loot us. They're coming in to set a restaurant for us to eat there, and tomorrow the money go back right away to Arab Peninsula and come back and kill us again, use against us. Because our people, after they got out from the war, there was no technology. They don't know how to set up a building. They don't know how to set up the light. These the people have fought the toughest fight who they did not even know. The only thing our people know how to do well is how to clean up the gun. They know how to train because the only AK-47, that's all they got. And that's what they stood against Arab. But now Arab are using a different tactic now from the air that we cannot defeat it. They bombarded us. The ground is no longer, battlefield is no longer an issue now. They become fighting about. So we cannot win them. It's nothing we can win. So the issue we're going in South Sudan are so huge and are so a lot are going on, and we need support, education. We believe that we need support from health system, clinic, people that our people are dying, women are actually, they're dying with the babies because there's no doctor. They're not to operate the baby and pregnant women.
Right.
This is the thing are killing our generation. Now the women actually die with the baby together. So we're losing generation.
Yes.
We're losing generation through the malaria. We're losing generation through diabetes, just a small medicine. In America, they cannot kill somebody in South Sudan. And the South Sudan government become dysfunction because the ideology is not there. The men who set up ideology, they have died. As soon as he signed the peace in 2005, he died 2 weeks later. He's killed by the Arabs. Have been assassinated. And the people who left now with no vision invite everybody in, the Arab and the Chinese and the Europe and all this, that the Russian. And now, what is so disturbing to me now, our young women have been pregnant by the Chinese man. So Chinese are making a different babies within our land, will become another issues tomorrow again we need to fight for. And the Arabs are coming in, we talked about, because when Arab come to your backyard, he doesn't come with his wife. He leave his wife behind and come alone because he's not going to get a wife when he get there.
Right.
So when they get here to my land, because our sisters do not have money,
Right.
I have no support. So when they get Arab man with a little money, he deceive them, and guess they got a baby. And guess what? He called it Usman. He called the baby Muhammad. He called the baby Khalid.
That's right.
And that is a cancer tomorrow that we need to fight again.
That's right.
That is a lack of education.
That's right.
Lack of program like Malafashan Institute is not there. Lack of Africa. People are running away from Africa identity. They want to be Chinese. They want to be Arab. They want to be light skin. Even better than people in America thought that they were light skin. They are not light skin. I think the African American have kept their blackness for more than 500 years, and I love you guys for that. I think the African American have done so much. You see, sometimes you don't know yourself until you learn from others who saw you. Because somebody see you outside.
That's right.
Not inside. Let me tell you what we see outside.
Yes.
I think the African American are the greatest African or black community. They are the greatest and the good example to the entire African world.
Yes.
There's nobody can dispute that. I know it. You know it. We know it. There's nobody can dispute that. You may think that, well, I got defeated, I got back down, I got this, but yes, you have won the war. This is not. Let me tell you, this is not about Obama. You didn't win the war because of Obama. You won the war because of you as a community. It's not about just Obama machine. It's about being you as a community. You won the war. Michelle and Obama, they are fine, but they are not example of African American community.
Right.
The African American will exist before Obama.
That's right, and will exist after.
You have a civil rights movement, great leaders. Wijakim Malapachan is one of them, a student. You have people like Dick Gregory. You have great people out there who fought for this, and they stood up for this, and that's why you are here now. Without you fighting for this, I wouldn't be here. You opened the door for us. For us to be here because what you are fought for. You give that accommodation. We have been respected because of you. So you don't really know the connection, how this works. How we can connect the dot is through what you have done. It's not just, I didn't come from just, bold guy and just come to America. It's bold guy because the people already look like me, they were there. You see, and I've been telling people, I said when I lost in Africa, I thought I was the only black man in America was actually Michael Jackson. I didn't know that the other people. I said, Michael Jackson was the only black man that I knew was existing in America. That's all I got in my mind. I didn't know Malafa Shanti. I did not know Michelle Obama and Condoleezza Rice. No. Michael Jackson. That's what I got. You see? And I pretend to be the smartest young man. I know everything. And I thought Michael Jackson was the only person. So that's why I say that you guys need to know that without you, we would not be free. Our freedom relies upon you, and you have a choice to make. You either stand out as you did in South Africa, or you let that die killed by the Arabs. And also, what I have learned is that when you see your own kind have been humiliated, and you think you're better, you are not better.
That's right. That's right.
If you think you are better off, you are not better off. Because your own kind just look like you. You have a little darker skin, but you have a little reddy skin. It doesn't make you like you are different. We just look alike.
That's right.
And that's why you have to stand up for my right and have me so I can be free. So we can sing a song of freedom together.
That's right. That's right.
But when you are singing a song of freedom by yourself, and I'm not, you are not better off. You need me to be a part of you so we can sing
Together.
global song of freedom
That's right.
that we need to sing as African. And that's why when I see my president like Obama calling Arab world and Islamic world, I say you are wrong. There's nothing called Arab world and Islamic world.
Right.
If this world will be African world,
That's right.
because we're actually all over the world.
That's right.
Jamaica, Haiti and Caribbean and America, England and France and all, and the continent. So who's supposed to have a world now?
Right.
Is the Arab folk who have about 27 countries? Are you kidding me? So you need to correct your language. Don't give them that credit.
That's right.
They are not big as you think.
That's right.
They're just a small minorities. And that's why we actually, what I learned about John Enner Clark, a man who actually,
That's right.
a great man, is just like Malafa Shanti. And I think Malafa Shanti is one of the pure of the students of John Enner Clark. And he said that, well, actually we were born as majority, we are thinking minority. We are thinking minority, even though we are majority, because we are majority, we are not minority.
That's right.
But because of the mindset
That's right.
of the other day, we have been misguided. we think that we are minority because we have been divided. And one thing you see is that when the Chinese man come to America, it's Chinese wherever you go.
That's right.
But the Africa will never be Africa where he go.
That's right.
You got to be African Jamaican, you got to be African American, you got to be African Caribbean, but we'll never come together as Africa where we go. It doesn't matter what struggle we've been through. It does not matter how circumstances we have been through. We should realize that yes, we are African, we are black.
That's right.
And that should be the key. But when you see Arab men come to America here, he never give up that thing in his face. Go everywhere and show. You know why he's showing you that? He tell you we are here and I'm Arabs and I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
But we African, we are ashamed of our dress, ashamed of the way we look. We want to make ups, we want, creams and make us look better. And all this, that is not taking us anywhere. And that's why we need Malafashant education in our community, and we need your help. If you think that this institution is not big enough because it's in Philadelphia, I think it's wrong. I think this institution is big to liberate Africans. And that's why when we called you last week, and you've been in circuit with us, you see the cry. Malafashant have brought the hope to our community. It was almost a couple hundred people that were attended the conference. And Malafashant spoke, people dropped the tears. They said we had never had a most wise man like this in our community. Where did you get the man? That's what they asked me. Where did you get the man? I said, it's not me. God brought it to you. It's not about me. It's about you. That you are blessed to know Malafashant. You are blessed to have Anna Ashanti. You are blessed to know Amma Mazama, not me. Because I'm not here in my spirit as bull guy. It's because the spirit of African people brought me here. It's not about me. It's about us.
That's right.
And that's why we need to work collectively. And that's why I want Malafashant an institution when our people call for university. Is a university we think it can be envisioned the way Malafashant want to see it. A vision that will actually serve us as African, serve our language, serve our culture. Because in South Sudan, after we broke away, our leaders refused not to speak their own language. They're still controlled by the Arabs. And they run the TV in Arabic. And our leaders in South Sudan never seen what they fought for in the first place. And the Arab are using them to say, you know what, you have to use our language, otherwise you are not free. Now the media in South Sudan, if you are Denka, you are not allowed to speak in Denka where we got to play.
Wow.
Because the leadership have been Arabized mentally. And that's what we need to understand, that without Malafashant Institute, we will not get there. That's why when we came here in the first place long time ago, and I knew there's no other person can guide us in Africa except Malafashant Institute. There's nobody. And one thing I want you to know, you may think that, okay, William didn't come from Africa. He knew how to help himself. No, I need somebody to help me.
Right.
But when you let me get help from the Chinese man, I will be looted.
Right.
But when Malafashant will be sincere, help that I need.
Yeah.
So that's why we need Malafashant to help us. That's why our education in Africa, there's no university in my place. There's nothing at all institution. When I went to Uganda last year, and all the South Sudanese, and thank God for our brothers in Uganda, who are very much Pan-Africanists, who believe in Pan-Africanism, who can die to serve Africans.
Yes.
The president, Yorma Safini, a man who told Arab that I would not back down for my identity, I would rather die than giving in. And he served entire Africa and East Africa and accommodate them. When in one university in Uganda, we have about 300 South Sudanese.
Oh, wow.
300 South Sudanese. But what is so desperate is that because the more South Sudan go to Uganda, they don't come back to their communities. They go to East Africa, get involved with light skin young boy. They don't want to be a dark skin anymore. The community become break down. The women are not coming back. There's no cultural values in South Sudanese that fought Arab for too long have been loose now. They are no longer kept anymore. What made us keep the war? It was because our language would exist.
That's right. Absolutely. You got
When I was in right here in New York last week, when I spoke and I was singing in my Denka language,
Yes, it was beautiful.
they are so
You
powerful.
should sing tonight.
Yes.
I would love to, and I will do it right now.
That's right.
To know that we did not fight Arab because we get paid. We fought them because we have sung.
Yes.
That's all we got.
Okay.
We didn't have food. We didn't have water. Our soldiers don't get paid. They come to the neighborhood and ask them for a little food they can get from their families. Our families, my mothers, they cook for our soldiers. But the Arab get paid, and they get support from the Arab League and also Saudi Arabia. But our leaders and our young fighters, warriors, they never get paid from any government. Until recently, they got a flight, and they did never get paid yet because the oil is not working now because they have been shut down last week. So to let you know that the song of Africa is so powerful, they can guide you, they can get you there. Because that's why our struggle was very important, because there was nobody can come in to penetrate in us because we speak the same language only, which is Denka.
Yes.
And the Denka are the largest ethnic in Sudan. And they were the tallest group in the Sudan. And they were the most cattle owners in entire Africa. There's nothing we have in the world than the cows. We trade one another with the cows. We trade, if you need salt and sugar or whatever, you trade it by cows. You need milk, you give those who do not have milk and we'll give you cow back. Or maybe that's how the money are in our community. We didn't have a dollar. We didn't have money. There is trading through what you have, cow, goat, woman, and so on. You see, that's what we have done. So, and that has been lost now, and we need help. And that's why I would let you know that what's going on in Mali is a tragic. It's an Islamic invasion, it's an Arab invasion, and our brothers, and they always come to destroy the historical side of African people. That's why they actually went and targeted the Timbuktu because they don't want that to exist.
Yeah.
As they did in Sudan, they do in Mali. As they did in Sudan, they do in Nigeria. And they did it in Somalia. After they know Somalia have been destroyed totally, they become Arabized. They don't even know their identity. Now they start running away all over Africa now to create a problem all over. Because Somalia now they're losing their land because they have no sense of identity. They lost that. There's something is going on in Mali and Nigeria and Niger and Sudan, and it's going all over Africa until we in Malafa Ashanti Institute need to do something about it. The Africa, another 50 years and 100 years, it will be taken over by the Arabs. That is my assumption. That is my predicament. And I think if God could see this, I think I'm right.